If you are an entrepreneur or a solo founder, or maybe you just recently got laid off from your shitty job, don't worry, welcome aboard. I'm on the same boat as well. And now you want to launch your own AI startup or any sort of tech company or maybe a digital product. But the problem is you know nothing about software development. You have never written even a single line of code, and you don't know anything about websites development, about apps development, or anything like backend development or anything related to software engineering. Well, don't worry, I'm a software engineer with 9 years of experience, and in last 9 years I have launched several software projects and startups. On this YouTube channel I create software development videos for non-technical people who have never written a single line of code, and I guide them how they can develop websites, mobile apps, or like any sort of like softwares that they can even imagine without writing a single line of code by using AI code editors, something like Cursor AI, something like Windsurf AI, or Bolt.new, or any sort of AI code editors. This one video is going to be your launch pad, or you can say a detailed step-by-step guide where I will guide you that how you can start developing softwares without writing code or without knowing anything about writing code, and still using AI and AI code editors and building sophisticated softwares and launching your tech startup in maybe less than a week. Before we start, please do not forget to subscribe this YouTube channel. Our goal is to reach 100,000 subscribers before the end of June 2025. Alright, I'll keep this video as practical and as beginner friendly as possible. I'll just convey everything to you as I am talking to a 5 years old. First thing first, if you have decided what sort of product you are going to develop, or you are just open for any sort of product, and now you just want to explore that how you can build that product yourself. First thing that you need to do is you need to decide what tech stack do you want to use to develop your product. Let's suppose if you're going to develop a web-based AI product or any sort of web-based product, that web-based product might have like a front end and a back end. Front end contains your landing page, your dashboard, your login screens, or any sort of like visual representation of your website or your web app or maybe your mobile app. That all of that is visually presented to user, that is front end, and someone has to create every single thing, every single part of your front end. You either need like a front end UI UX designer, or maybe if you're going to do it yourself. So I'm actually going to guide you what are the right tools that you need to create your front-end design. The best tool so far to create your front-end design is v0.dev. Let me just quickly log into this tool and show you how easily you can develop front-end design. Okay, you simply need to click on sign up, and you can simply just sign up using your email account or using GitHub. I'm going to sign in as a GitHub because I already have an account. All right, once you're signed into v0.dev, this is how it will look like. Now what you need to do next is you just need to tell v0.dev what you're going to develop. So to tell it, you need to write requirements. What is requirements? Requirements document is kind of, you can say, all of the details about what you are going to develop. So to write a requirements document, you can just go to ChatGPT and explain it your idea. Just use any other, if you don't want to use ChatGPT, just use anything else. But explain everything inside ChatGPT. Just ask it to like create a requirements document for your project. Let's just choose one idea. So let me just ask it. I want to create an AI image generation web app. Please create a requirements document for this project. That's it. I just took a random idea and I just like put a random idea in here. So I'll just click on enter, and now it will create some ideas for me. So this is going to be a requirements document. ChatGPT has just created that and still like creating that. It has several different sections. One is overview, then is objective, then is feature section. In feature section, it has now like AI image generation, user authentication system, credit system, image gallery, sharing option, payment integration, and then there is an advanced feature includes custom models and training. By model it means AI models. Then there is a batch generation, there is an image editing tools, API access, and then user feedback and multilingual support. And then admin feature has dashboard, user management, analytics, and content moderation. If you just like understand what you are going to build, you need to like write that on a page, on a paper, on a document, or somewhere wherever you like, but write it on maybe a whiteboard or wherever you feel comfortable, but you need to write that somewhere. If you have that idea in your mind, that is not good enough. You just need to like write that idea somewhere. So I know it's a very basic thing, but still I emphasize highly, because most of the times we have so many ideas in our mind, but we don't know, we don't have it on paper. That's why we just like stay confused, and we never like able to develop that idea. So now it has like created this. Next, what I'm going to ask it, I'm going to create a front-end design for this application using v0.dev. Please create a detailed guideline for front-end design for v0.dev. All right. So by the way, if you don't know what your front-end design should look like, there is an easier way as well. So you can go to websites like Figma or website like Dribble or any of this kind of like UI design websites. Just go to this kind of websites and find the closer version of any dashboard that you can think that this is how your front-end design can look like. Alright, so right now I'm on Figma. So Figma is a UI UX design tool. So you can simply just click on like look for dashboard designs inside Figma, and it will give you some sort of like dashboard designs in here right inside Figma. So there's this one. You can simply just open this inside Figma. You need to sign in with Figma. This is free to use. There is a paid version as well, but for you, I mean, you can simply just it is free to use for you to start with. Alright, so you can choose any design from Figma, or if you just don't want to use Figma, just go to Google, look for dashboard designs. Just look for dashboard designs and go to images section, and then choose any of these dashboard designs from here. So if whatever looks good for you, you can just like simply get it from here. On Figma, if you just like find something like this, you can customize this. You can add your own name here and add different fields here. You can change it. If this is an editable file, you can just like change some things from here and then reuse it inside v0.dev. So what we're gonna do, we can simply just save it here. And next thing is you can simply just upload it to v0.dev. You don't need to do this step. You can simply just give it a prompt with ChatGPT, but giving it like doing it this way, it will just like create like a better detailed design based on the reference image. So ChatGPT, what ChatGPT has done, it has created something that please create the prompt for dashboard screen for v0.dev. So now once you have got this prompt from here from ChatGPT, you simply just need to paste it here inside v0.dev and just press enter, and now it will just start creating the design. So you can see how v0.dev has started creating this project inside. So by default, it will create your front end design with multiple screens. So it will actually create a proper project directory, and by default it will create for Next.js. So what is Next.js? Next.js is just a framework. I mean, it's just like a JavaScript framework, and most of the times if you're going to build web apps, most probably you're going to develop that in Next.js, because Next.js actually gives you freedom to like design websites, develop websites with backend and front end right within one project. So okay, so this is what it has created so far. It has just like created a basic design based on our requirements. So now if you don't like this design, you can just simply just ask it, please enhance this design. I don't like it. So now it can just enhance the design. By the time you can simply just look at like this has like it is actually creating it in a proper way, app/dashboard. So now if just gonna like create next screens, it will just create like separate directories for next screen as well. So most of your front end can be like handled in here inside inside v0.dev. All right, while creating this, it has now some runtime error. What we can do, we can simply just ask it to fix that error, and it will just fix that. So yeah, creating frontend for your project is not a problem anymore. Just a couple of years ago, I remember we used to spend like months and months, even sometimes like 6 months, 7 months, just to like create the front end version of your project with all of those like all of the screens, and still there used to be like so many back and forth changings, and it used to cost us like thousands and thousands of dollars just for like to create front end design. And now all of that we can do within like couple of hours using tools like v0.f. Now you can create your front end design right inside your IDE as well. And okay, next thing we are going to talk about backend. While we created front end using v0.f, backend is completely different from that. Backend includes your like your database, backend includes your user management, backend includes like all of the functionality of your application is most of the times handled in backend. And backend is something where most of like people who are using AI code editors, they can get stuck in backend because this is not that easy as we think usually as well. But I have found a solution for that as well, and I have created a very beginner friendly and absolutely beginner friendly backend development guideline. We use tool like Supabase. Supabase is just like an platform for backend development that handles your complete backend. Mostly it is compatible with almost any sort of like tech stack. If you're going to develop this your project inside React or inside like Next.js, inside maybe any other tech stack that you want to use, it will support you to like develop backend for your project. You can watch this video on my YouTube channel. I will leave comment in description for fastest way to build apps with Next.js 15 backend. So you can watch this video on my YouTube channel. This is a complete detailed step-by-step guide that how you can build backend for your web applications. Now, if you're going to develop a web application, or you can say a web SaaS, then I got a good news for you. I have created a SaaS kit that we call Best SaaS Kit. This is completely open source, completely free, that I created for my community on here on YouTube. You can access it absolutely for free on bestsaaskit.com. There is an open source GitHub repository. Let me just show you. You can just come to this URL bestsaaskit.com, and in here you can see like we have developed this completely open source project for you, completely open source SaaS kit for you that is absolutely for free. There is no charge, there is no cost for that. You can use this absolutely for free. You can clone it from here. There is a complete setup guide for this SaaS kit as well. You can just go to documentation section, and there is a setup guide for this SaaS kit that I have like provided a very detailed step-by-step setup guide for this SaaS kit. In this SaaS kit, I have developed almost everything that you will ever need to develop your web SaaS. I have created the complete payment management module using Stripe, then backend using Supabase. In this project, this backend is already implemented for you, and then there is ChatCN, the UI is developed using ChatCN. You can use, ChatGPT, as you can say, open source API keys already integrated into this project, and then resend application for resend for your email management is already implemented in this SaaS kit. If you want to use that SaaS kit, you can simply just clone that repository, install it locally on your computer, and follow that setup guide that I just showed you on the documentation tab of our Best SaaS Kit website. This will save you so many hours of development. You won't be worried about authentication system, about login system, about login with Google, about payment modules, about like all of the user management, all of the backend development, and all of like email management. All of that is already done in that Best SaaS Kit. This is again open source. There is no cost for that. There is no charge for that. There is no API that you need to retrieve. There is nothing. You can simply just like start using that absolutely for free. Okay, now we are going to talk about IDEs. I don't know if you have ever heard about this term or not, but you might have heard about Visual Studio. So Visual Studio is a code editor that we use to develop softwares, but there is something that has very recently launched almost a year ago. This is called Cursor AI Editor. So Cursor AI Editor is just like you can say your AI agent to write code for you, to develop softwares for you with your just simple basic human level commands that you just ask it in English or maybe in some other language, and Cursor AI agent develops applications for you, creates code for you, creates project directories for you. I'll just show you a demo, but this is what we are using. You can use maybe something like Windsurf or maybe something like Bolt.new, but I highly recommend you using your IDEs that you can use locally on your computer. There are a lot of other IDEs that you can use on online. There is lovable.dev, there is Bolt.new, there are a lot of other, like there is Project IDX, but all of those are actually browser based IDs, and browser based IDs are I mean, you are always you are limited to its features. But once you have your completely local IDE, or you can say like a local a tool that you can local code editor that you can use to develop your software, that is like absolutely like you can say it can save you so much time, and it can help you so much in completely developing your full stack applications. It will give you complete freedom to develop anything that you want. Okay, this is Cursor. You can access Cursor from cursor.com, and this is Windsurf. Windsurf and Cursor both are very familiar. Both are a VS Code extension. That means Visual Studio Code extension. Both are very similar and very easy to use as well. The only difference is pricing. So Cursor is free to use, of course, and then there is the Pro plan is for $20 per month. I highly recommend you using the Pro plan because it will give you just so much freedom to write anything that you want. On the other side, Windsurf is bit cheaper than Cursor. So it is $15 per month. Cursor is $20 and Windsurf is $15 per month. But you can say Cursor is industry standard. Most of the people use Cursor. Windsurf is not used by too many people, but Cursor is industry standard. So I highly recommend using Cursor. So if you just want to try Cursor, you can simply just click on this download for Windows button, and it will just download a file and .exe file locally on your computer. Once it is downloaded, you can simply just double click on that, and then click next, and install it on your computer. Once this is installed on your computer, all you need to do, you can simply just sign in and sign up using your Google account. It will simply just allow you to sign in. Once you're signed in, just open Cursor on your computer. Simply just open Cursor, and this is how it will look like for the first time when you'll open. This is how it will look like. Don't be scared. Now we are actually going to like make our hands dirty, and now we're actually going to write some code. We are not going to write code. Cursor is going to write code. So let me just click on open folder. So all you need to do first thing is just open folder. Just click on that open folder. Choose a directory. Just choose a directory inside your computer. Just choose any directory. I'll just call it test. I just call it anything, and just choose a directory. Now this is going to be directory of your project where you are going to build and develop your project. What you need to do next is simply just click on both of these buttons on top right. So this is how your interface will look like now. So now this is where we need, make sure you are inside your composer section, not inside chat section, but inside your composer section. Inside your composer section, now you need to like give it a command to develop something for you. So because we are going to like develop a Next.js based web application, so what I will do, I'll simply just switch to agent tab, and then I'll just when as soon as I'm here, I'll just give it a command. Please develop a Next.js web application. This web application is an image generation web application. We'll use API key from fall.ai. Okay, I know I have said a couple of things that you might be a bit confused about, but let me just fix that first. Let me just fix that. And what is fall.ai? This is just like an API key provider. So when we are actually going to develop, you can say an AI project. So most of the times, 90% of the times, you are going to develop something based on some sort of API key. So what is an API key? API key is just like someone else has built kind of a solution, and you are going to use their you can say solution or their service on your project, on your website, and customize it the way you want. So let's suppose if you want to like develop an AI chatbot, or maybe an AI relationship advisor or something like that, and you want to like have a chat GPT kind of like chatbot that you want to like use, what you need to do, you need to just use chat GPT OpenAI API key. So you'll have chat GPT functionality. You know, now you need to integrate into your website, and now you can build your relationship advisor, or maybe like any legal advisor, or I don't know, whatever. But just this is how we do that. So now because we are going to develop an image generation, so we can use something like if you're not aware of that, Stable Diffusion, or maybe something like Flux.dev. These are like different image generation models that we use. So fall.ai, let me just show my screen. Fall.ai is actually, you can say, an AI solutions provider that has most of like these kind of API keys available on their platform. You can develop like a music application using that. You can develop like an text to video application using that. You can develop like realistic humans or like portraits of people using that. So all you need to do, they have like these solutions developed here. You just need to like go to API tab and just copy an API from here. There are a lot of other platforms just like Fall.ai, whatever you want to use. You can simply just the reason why I suggest Fall.ai because it's cheap. You can just like top up $5 on it and start using the API key in your production environment. You will be charged based on the number of uses, a number of times your API key has been called. There won't be any extra charge from this kind of API key providers. So this is how you can actually like develop AI solutions. You can use API keys and integrate that into your projects. So since we were on cursor, let me just go back to cursor. Let me just click on submit, and I have make sure that you have selected agent, and I'll just click on submit. I'll just show you how it like does everything for you. You're just like a human in loop who's just testing this application. You're not actually writing any sort of code, or you're not going to interact with it in anywhere form. You're just going to like do that and simply just click submit. And now what it will do, it will just like create everything for you. It will just like create an it is now scanning my directory, and it will just like create ask me to run this command. I'll just click on this button and then it will just run this command. There is a very detailed tutorials about Next.js. You can just find those tutorials. I'll leave links in description for Next.js, like starting with Next.js. Even there is a course that I started about Next.js, so you can just like follow that. But this is like, it will write everything for you. It will set up all of the project files for you, and you won't have to do anything yourself. So it just asked me to like press Y. I just pressed Y, and now it is going to create like a directory for me. So yeah, this is how, I mean, even if there be any issue, it will resolve that issue itself. So now it is going to create, now it has created this directory. You can see this directory and with all of these code files, and now it is like installing dependencies. I highly recommend you to watch this Next.js 15 tutorial series that I created. It includes all of these different things that I just mentioned in my video right now. So you can just like watch this like 3-4 videos. Even this one video should be more than enough for you to like start with Next.js. All right, you might be thinking that, okay, this all guideline is just for web-based applications. What about mobile-based applications? So for mobile-based applications, you have different options. If you just want to like develop a mobile application for Apple or for Android devices separately, so if you just want to develop a Apple application separately and then an Android application separately, so what you need to do, you need to just like develop that Apple application in something which is called Swift. I have a detailed tutorial about how you can start creating Apple applications in Swift. Alright, you just need to watch this video if you're going to develop a Swift application, an iOS application by using Swift on your MacBook. So I mean, this one video covers almost every single possible thing that you will need to develop your Swift application. So just watch that video. It will be very helpful for you. You might be thinking that I want to develop an application that can be launched and published on both iOS and on Android. So for that, we use something like React Native or something like Flutter. But I recommend using React Native because Flutter is not industry standard right now. Right now, React Native is a better solution, and also React Native is under the framework of JavaScript. So, like if you're familiar, if you want to develop applications in Next.js or in React, so React Native is a framework of JavaScript. You won't have to like learn anything extra to develop React Native applications. Again, using Cursor, you can develop that. There's a detailed video for you. Let me just show you that video. There is this video that is most watched video so far, which is 46,000 right now in last 3 weeks. How to develop mobile applications for Android and iOS using Cursor AI coding in React Native and Export 2025. So you can like watch this video. This video will cover almost every single possible thing to create an application and then deploy it, and then like test it on both your iPhone and your Android phone. In this video, like I show like how you can deploy this, publish this application on, no, not publish actually, but test your application on iPhone and then on Android phone as well. So this is a very detailed step-by-step guide. Okay, so you might have not developed your application. Now you might be thinking that I need to develop a very high quality landing page, a landing page that can actually that can convert my customers, a landing page that make my startup company look absolutely professional. So to create high quality landing pages, you can create that in Cursor Composer, but there is a video again that I have recorded for that. So I have followed the best practices. You can just follow this video where I show absolutely from scratch that how I built this detailed high quality website by using Cursor, and then I guide this is 34 minutes video where I guide very hands-on training. I give a very hands-on training to create high quality landing pages. So you might be thinking that I'm just referring you to random videos separately, but this is the purpose of this video. In this video I just want to give you a framework that how you can actually develop something without writing any sort of code, and then there are all these different modules that we just covered, and then I have suggested you to watch those detailed hands-on videos where I actually do and develop different software products. Now you have developed your software product, you have developed your backend, you have developed your front end, you have developed your landing pages. Now it's time to deploy your project. To deploy your project, you need to watch this video. This is the video that you need to watch to deploy your project. This is a 90 minutes long videos, but it will help you to guide how you can deploy your project on in that video I have suggested that how you can deploy your project on a server. This is the easiest possible video that you can ever have to deploy your project, because we are using a server called Vercel. So we are using Vercel to deploy our project. This is the simplest possible way to deploy your project. You don't need to hire a DevOps engineer. You don't need to hire an architect to deploy your project. You don't need to hire a backend engineer. You can deploy your project completely on Vercel. This is how easy it is. You don't need to hire any extra resource. This is so simple. You just need to push your code on GitHub, and then from GitHub you need to just fetch your code inside Vercel. So in that video I give you a detailed step-by-step guide that how you can do that. So this was the complete guide, 360-degree guide that how you can develop any sort of projects. I have suggested you to watch these videos. You can just watch all of these videos and then start developing. If you have any further questions, you can book a meeting with me. I can give you a simple guide, but please, before booking a meeting, just mention the purpose of booking the meeting so I can at least understand why exactly do you want to book a meeting, so I can at least guide you based on that. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Well, I did while recording. I see you next video. Bye bye.